Despite being one of the divisions with the most wins, even with the Chicago Bears being in the division, the NFC North crashed and burned in the playoffs. What we're going to talk about today is the NFC North more wide open than initially believed, and can the Bears actually make their move in the division next season? We're going to get to all that and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. We got Bobby, C-Dub, myself, Haize, in the building today. And fellas, we're going to take a step away from the coaching talk briefly. We're going to get into it at some point in this episode. Let's get to some actual football talk. The Detroit Lions, of course, lost yesterday to the Washington Commanders. Shout out to Jaden Daniels for having the game that he did. And while, some people are making this about whether Ben Johnson lost to Cliff Kingsbury, which is stupid to try to make that conversation when you're talking about the totality of a team. But the NFC North, it didn't look good in the playoffs, y'all. And despite it being a division that most of the top three teams would have led most other divisions in football, the NFC North did not look good in the playoffs. So the question I want to present to you guys is the NFC North a little bit more wide open for the taking if the Bears can get their shit together?
Yeah, this definitely put a smile on my face last night as I watched the end of that Lions game versus Washington. But I'm gonna just be objective here, not being a FBG Chicago Bear fan. The NFC North had a terrific year. Everybody except us was over double-digit wins this year, and they were really good teams. But all along, I knew that those teams were incomplete. And what they most incomplete at was quarterback. Sam Darnold will eventually go back to being Sam Darnold. And Jared Goff will eventually get to being Jared Goff. Eventually. And you see when it happens with Jared Goff, it happens in the most inopportune times. And those inopportune times is Super Bowls and NFC championship games or playoff games. But I would just like to say everybody's in the same boat in the NFC North. Every team in the NFC North is incomplete. They might have good records, but it's an incomplete team.
For sure. This is what happens when these teams start smelling themselves before they actually did something. And Tom Brady said something that was great over the broadcast, pretty much saying, hey, guys, yes, you can have a great season, but when those guys be like, man, we're going to get them next year. We're going to get them next year. Tom Brady just let everybody know it does not work like that. It's a new season with new challenges and new things that has been going on. And you look at the Detroit Lions and what they've been doing this entire season. When they counted it the most, they wasn't able to get the job done. C-Dub, I agree with you with the whole quarterback point. I've been saying it for a while now about Jordan Love. I was never really sold on him. Talented. Hell yeah, talented. Mm-hmm. But not consistent enough for my liking when I first came out and we was approaching this season. And I was proven right on that type of evaluation when it came to him. I would say the Bears, they still got to obviously do their work. But there's going to be some teams that are going to be viewed as being better than the Chicago Bears. But if the Bears get their shit together, they can make it very, very interesting because I seen Caleb Williams through all the turmoil damn near beat all these teams within this division, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that, like, don't get me wrong, and this isn't to say that the Bears should all of a sudden be favored over any of these teams, because hell no, he shouldn't. But I will say this is the fact that this is a team or a division that, listen, the Bears competed in last season, not so much this season, but last season. And I think if the Bears make the right moves, improve the offensive line, get the right coach in here, improve the trenches on the defensive side as well, the Bears can still compete in this division. They can still compete in this division.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, that's an absolute factual statement you putting out there, Hayes. You can look at the evidence in the games played throughout the season, and you look at the evidence what happened to each individual team in this NFC North team at the end of the season, and tell that it's an incomplete, a mirage of a good team because it's a mirage. I say partial mirage because they are good because they do got other good facets of their team. They just every team in this listen, how about this? We might have the best we might have the most stable quarterback position in this when it regards to play. I'll say confident. We're the most confident quarterback in this league. How about that? Is that a fair
Not yet.
statement?
Not yet. You can't say
Not
that.
yet.
You can't say that yet. I'm sorry.
Not yet.
Like, don't get me wrong. I think that we can get there, but you can't say that yet. Because it hasn't been proven. Wins still matter. And unfortunately, we can't say that right now because like Caleb is talented. He's just as talented as any other quarterback in the division. But we can't say anything for sure about the Bears yet until, like me and Bobby been saying, until these niggas start winning, I'm not saying nothing.
Hey, but
Just one more question before you go. I'm just saying I agree with y'all, but if you was to be confident in your quarterback, look at the situation each team is in. Like the Green Bay, you look at Jordan Love's stinker that he just did. Look at Aaron Donald; he transformed back to the real Aaron Donald.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at this guy, Jared Goff. He turned back to the real Jared Goff.
Yeah, but here's the thing: the real version of them still win so much more than what Caleb Williams has shown so far.
And that's what I was gonna go to when you talk about, even though Jordan Love is a bit erratic, they still gonna come out and probably win double-digit games again next season because the youthfulness on their team. But I want to bring to y'all attention something that I think is gonna be very, very interesting that I believe that we should pay attention to. Last year, the Lions lost in the NFC Championship game due to a mistake by the head coach, Dan Campbell. This year, he did that. Yeah, you really couldn't do much with the squad, and you lost in a heartbreaker. The Hail Mary fucked us up. This is the playoffs in a back-to-back year heartbreaker. Add on top of that, you're about to potentially lose both of your coordinators on the offensive side and a defensive side. So that's going to be some interesting things to watch as we continue on through this offseason and going into it. I'm going to be paying attention to these Detroit Lions and see how they're going to be able to match up because those are back-breaking losses, and it's not no conversation where we're going to get back next year. No, you had the number 1 seed this year with the most blowouts in the season for a team with all the injuries. Y'all had all the – and that loss – I think that can change up the NFC North a little bit more.
And it ain't guaranteed that these guys could get back to this point to where they are,
That's
like the favorites. And so,
and keep in mind this too. Either way, they're losing Ben Johnson.
Oh yeah, that's a fact.
100%. So that's going to be a huge thing to see how that offense looks with a different play caller taking over, on top of all the free agents that they have, also with the Detroit Lions. I'm not saying that the Bears are right there to be able to compete to win the division. I'm just saying that I would not be surprised if each one of these teams in the division next year are a little bit weaker, and if the Bears get stronger, it's just going to be a more competitive division. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with that. Just to add real quick, I think it like a good comparison to be like how the NFC East was a few years ago. Teams just battling it out the entire season, and it's coming down to those last few weeks to see who can be the division winner. I don't think it's gonna be 3 wild card teams from the NFC North next year.
Nah. No, bro. No.
Playoff teams.
Reality is out. Quarterback position is the most important position in sports. And I just think that all teams in the NFC North have some question marks. That's it.
They do. Every team.
Question marks.
Yeah. I mean, listen, and every team is going to have question marks. Like, the only team that's going to come into next season that I can ignore having question marks is whoever wins the Super Bowl. They're going to be question marks. The Bears have huge question marks that they need to answer as well. But I do think that, again, with the right moves, which is a whole nother question we got to ask is going to happen, I think the Bears could be right there competitive in the NFC North.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. They just got to get this shit nailed down and make sure it's all good to go. They got to make sure it's good to go so you can be able to compete. You've shown that you can compete at least within your division right now. But you got to be able to compete with other teams around the league because I believe we're playing the AFC West next season. I believe.
Yes,
Y'all gotta,
yes, it is the West next season.
yes, and Patrick
The
Mahomes.
AFC North, right? We ain't got the
Is it
AFC
North?
North.
Hold on, let me look.
Yeah,
I'll
we
check.
definitely got something along those lines. It probably is the AFC North, and that's a dog fight too.
That's a
So
dog fight.
it's not gonna be easy. That's Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson.
It is the
You know what I'm
AFC
saying?
North next
Yeah,
season.
Lamar Jackson and whoever Pittsburgh is going to start, maybe a Justin Fields return. I don't
we
know.
need that. Give us
That'll
that.
be interesting, and everybody gonna be it's gonna be interesting.
I almost wonder if it would have been better for us if they would have won, if they'd have at least went to the Super Bowl, or is it better in this position where they just get bounced and I say destroyed in the first game that they played? Which one
I
y'all
think
think is the best for the Bears?
I think the Bears are
don't
happy.
matter.
They ain't got to drag out the coaching search no more.
Yes.
The facts, and this is what me and Bobby talked about on the live stream last night. I think with them interviewing Eddie George today, right, which gets the Rooney Rule qualifications out the way, they can interview Ben Johnson officially in person on Monday. They're gonna try to get that interview, I think, scheduled by Monday, Tuesday. I say that we're gonna have our head coach, I would say probably by this time next week at the minimum. Steve-O said that he thinks by Wednesday, which could be a possibility.
Damn, that'd be good.
I agree. I think it's quick as possible, nephew, because I think he's the lead domino. After he falls, everything else falls into place. I think.
Yeah. I think that
I think everyone. I think like almost every coach, because I said, and I think it was Vern who mentioned it in the chat too. I know I mentioned that they could be losing Ben Johnson. They may be losing Aaron Glenn too. They lose both their coordinators.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's what I'm saying. That can change the entire landscape of the NFC North. And then Vikings got to make decisions on Sam Darnold. You gonna keep him around, or you gonna bring in JJ McCarthy, the guy you drafted now? JJ. You know what I'm saying? And what about those injuries that happened to them young players in Green Bay, and how do they get better?
How many years did they sign Sam, if you know off the top of your head, nephew?
I think he's eligible for a contract now. Something like that.
Is he a free agent or he's on contract?
I think he's a free agent because there's been talk about them possibly franchise tagging him. So
he done in the Vikings.
I mean, you would think that, but I will put nothing past the Vikings just because of what they did this past offseason. It makes sense for him to be done. I can't assume that.
Sure.
We know Sam Darnold. We know the real Sam Darnold, bro.
But unfortunately, though, the real Sam Darnold can also win you some regular season games. He's gonna fuck up, but they may want to have him there as a safety net, because I'm not saying they should go in with McCarthy the starter next year. But if McCarthy gets off to a slow start, I think they may want Darnold to be there for the insurance policy, because if nothing else, even with his flaws, Darnold can win you some regular season games.
Yeah. How much you think that's gonna cost them?
If they could get a Baker Mayfield type dollar, I think Baker Mayfield got like 35, 40. You don't want to get, bro. That's what the
regular season wins still count.
That's how much Gino. That's how Gino. I think Gino getting like 35, 40.
We paying some Rex Grossman type quarterbacks $30 million a year, bro.
That's the market, bro.
I'm stay out of another man's pocket, bro. But damn, that's crazy.
We'll see what happens, man. But I do think that the NFC North is going to be, of course, one of the more interesting divisions to watch, and we just got to hope that our team does shit right so they can actually compete in the division. That's all I can say.
For real, because you got to look around and be like, hey, I'm seeing some stuff. Like, you got to, you know what I'm saying? You got an opportunity. You got to take advantage of it. But you got to be smart now. And I believe there has to be some aggressiveness too. If you go in these interviews this week right here, this week is crucial. So everybody should be getting, you know what I'm saying, getting their best sale pitches on and getting ready to go and get their guy. Whoever the guy is, go get your guy. Do not allow the guy to leave Chicago without you not having him in the building, regardless on who that is. It's time to push this and be aggressive.
You are absolutely right, nephew, especially with these things that happen in the division with teams underachieving. Chicago Bears is your chance to like really get down and put yourself in the thick of it. Because I think with these losses and the exposing of these teams, that so-called the best teams in the NFC, at least, you got a chance next year if you do everything right this year. So it's time to buckle down, Bears. You got a chance. It's a shot. It's a path. It's a path.
hey, this is your shot. This is it. And you got to get, if the Bears get this right, the coaching search right, we already saw that we were competitive in games with better coaching. And then you extend the talent as well. It could be a solid thing. But let's switch. I know I said we weren't going to talk much coaching, but we do got to we've touched on it a little bit. With the Eddie George interview being set for today in person, it's going to get the Rooney Rule out the way. We got to ask the question here: how quickly do you guys think we get the announcement of the next head coach?
Okay, I'm gonna just take this route. I think the Bears. I'm agree with Steve-O, and they do it as fast as possible. If you really got Ben Johnson on the top of your list, you do anything. You go over it. You go over whatever it is capable for you to do to try to woo this guy to come be the coach of your team. And I think that happens. You don't play games. You don't bullshit. You don't do these multiple interviews. You try to just woo them. You take them to what'll be the best date you'll take a girl that you really wanted to jab, bro. You taking her. What are you taking her, bro? You know what I'm saying? Do whatever you got to do to woo this dude, bro. Whatever you got to do.
I think by Friday we'll hear something if we got to put it on wax for a day. But I think it's definitely about to happen fast. I think it's about to be a lot of moving parts, and you got to get it done. You just got to get it done, bro. You got to get it done. And I hope it's the right guy. I really like whoever name pops up across that bub. Okay, cool. We here now, but let's see what happens on week. You know where we at week 10, 11, 12. You know what I'm saying? What we looking at? What we playing for? You know. So
yeah, I wouldn't. Ben Johnson's eligible to start interviewing in person on Monday. I honestly would not be surprised, especially with the time difference, if he interviews in both spots in the same within a 24-hour time frame.
On the real, get that PJ and you good. Adam Schefter said Adam Schefter reported Ben Johnson is not returning to Detroit. Yeah. He reported that. So he's going out to find him a job. So we'll see.
Hey, no shit. We already know that. Everybody knows he's not going back to Detroit, though.
It's going to be much like, I compare this to what was that? Was that 2006 free agency when LeBron went to Miami? Y'all remember when officially they announced that Chris Bosh and LeBron were signing in Miami? We then saw Amari Stoudemire sign in New York. The Bulls signed Carlos Boozer. It was all within 2 hours of each other after that announcement was made. Once Ben Johnson announces where he's going, I think all these other teams already know who their second option is. And we're going to see the dominoes start falling within 24 hours. We'll know exactly where everybody's going to be.
Shit, the Bears didn't have 20 candidates. You definitely should know.
Bears definitely should fucking know. Listen, my brother Corn says, we can offer Ben Johnson. No other team can. Yeah, fortunately, Corn, you also are paying 4 coaches. Y'all paying 3 GMs currently. Y'all don't have a quarterback. Yeah, sure, you can offer some money and you can offer some power in there. But what the fuck y'all got on the field? Y'all got less on the field than the Bears do.
He just hanging on to that Tom Brady.
Corn is the most prisoner of the moment shit. I remember when Corn was literally like, D'Angelo Russell would completely change the Chicago Bulls trajectory. Where's D'Angelo Russell at now? Isn't he back in Brooklyn?
With the same number.
Didn't he get benched 2 years in a row after getting the start? D'Angelo Russell is point guard Patrick Williams.
Oh, now that is a diss in these days. That's a diss.
I'm just saying. My brother Corn be prisoner of the moment all day. My boy, I saw that start off by Zach Edey. Oh my God, Zach Edey is going to be Rookie of the Year. Now he's 8th in Rookie of the Year vote. He got passed up.
Hey, leave my guy Edey alone.
Listen, we'll say Zach Edey's having a very solid rookie year, but if y'all notice, one of the things that I thought about is in isolation. Y'all see how he's starting to get cooked when teams one-on-one him?
He got some slow feet. He better than Vooch.
I'm just saying.
He better than Vooch.
I was expecting defensively. You tripping, bro?
No. I'm talking about the feet. I'm saying
no, they both move like they got cement. Jordan's made of cement on, bro.
Yeah, but I'm saying
if you put Zach Edey and Nikola Vucevic in a foot race, bro, we may all die before they finish the
race. For real though.
Listen, Braxton Jones can outrun both those motherfuckers, bro.
I'm with
That's
it.
True. That's 100% true.
I'm with it. Fuck.
But to get back on top here, I gotta throw some love. All love. Corn's one of my favorite people. He's one of the most supportive people. He supports every channel in the Chi-Town Sports Central Network. He ain't even a fan of all the Chicago teams.
For real, it's crazy.
So big love up to Corn, no doubt about it. All jokes aside. But I'm just glad that, and Bobby called me out on it. I think Steve-O did too. I'm just tired of talking about coaches. Just get this shit done, my boy. I'm tired of talking about coaches. I am sick of, listen, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, man. This has been the first time. We've been doing this for 3 years, bro. This has been the first week where I literally woke up and was like, damn, I gotta talk about this shit again. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. By the fourth, he's now the new favorite issue. By the fourth time that shit changed, I was like, you know what? I'm tired of this shit, man. The damn media, not the fans, the media, bro. I'm tired of this shit, man. So let's get this coach hired because I'm ready to start my draft analysis. I know Bobby's probably ready to start his draft analysis.
You already know.
I'm start ready about looking at free agents, looking at draft picks. I'm ready to start that. So I'm glad that this shit came to the way that it came because I'm on to new shit, bro. There's only so many times I could talk about the same faux motherfuckers. But one question that's been rising before we get out of here, last topic, with either the performance last night or whatever, should Cliff Kingsbury be higher on the list? We've heard that it's a 2-man race. That it's Mike McCarthy, Ben Johnson. Is there any chance that Cliff Kingsbury is the dark horse here and he could end up being the hire by the Chicago Bears?
Just because of the relationship with Caleb Williams, I'll give a little bit of credence to that. But I don't.
You added an extra R in there, but that's no.
Yeah,
no
it's
lie.
okay. You know, it's early.
Motherfuckers always blame the time of day. It's late as hell at night. They always blame the time of the day.
They will change the complete pronunciation of a word and then look at you like I dare you to say something. I remember when my grandma first said zinc in front of me. I was like, Grandma, it's not a Z. The way she looked at me, bro, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
That's simple.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, but I don't know, man. I think he really has a chance just because of the relationship with Caleb. I don't really think he's gonna get the job, but just by him having that relationship with Caleb, maybe Caleb spit some love to the front office to Ryan Poles or something. But I'm no. I'm gonna just say no.
No to Cliff. Okay.
Yeah, no.
I don't think it's happening to me personally because they haven't even interviewed him yet. I think that if the Lions would have won yesterday and kind of pushed out the playoff run a little bit longer, they could have had an opportunity to interview him.
That's a great
but
question.
that changed plans. So now the Bears got to move on. You cannot wait on Cliff Kingsbury, bro. You cannot sit right here and wait on Cliff Kingsbury right now. I think right now you should already just be trying to figure out who you got and what's the best candidate that you already spoken with. You cannot slow down right now, especially with new guys and new candidates now available. You can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, they should have hired Cliff as the offensive coordinator last year. I want to be clear there. Cliff should have been the offensive coordinator hired last season. And we may not even be talking about this. Maybe he took over mid-season through Matt Eberflus, so we're not even talking about a head coaching interview. Maybe that's the case. But I think at this point now, since it is open, you have Mike McCarthy, who is the vet that you know what he's going to bring at least as a floor. You either have the promising hot, prospect in Ben Johnson. And I think that you have to decide between these two guys. I think that it's I understand why people saying what he's done with Jaden, why people are like, we got to consider Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury is on my list as the number one, whatever. But Bobby made it out there. No interview is even scheduled with Cliff yet. He's not on the board. We don't have an interview scheduled. One hasn't happened. To me, that shows where he is. We interviewed David Shaw and Ron Rivera before we even got something scheduled with Cliff Kingsbury. Come on, man. Come on. Like that should tell you a lot.
And I know this will be probably, and maybe just let me know if it sounds crazy because this guy's finna probably go to the Super Bowl. He got a chance to go to the Super Bowl. I know that we signed Shane Waldron. He was an offensive coordinator in Seattle, and he just came back for the same position. Is there any chance the Bears could snatch him from the Washington Commanders? I know he on his probably go to the Super Bowl. Is there any possibility?
No, remember we were only able to sign Shane Waldron as an offensive coordinator, a lateral move, because they removed Pete Carroll, so he's open to interview. You can't take a lateral move in the NFL.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah, that's over with.
Oh, then forget that thought then. Shit. Thanks for
So, yeah.
destroying it.
Yeah, no.
For sure. But I think Ben gonna have his guys anyway, and I hope it's some guys with experience. Like, don't come in here trying to help your new best friend get a new leg in the league. No, we need guys that got some experience, you know what I'm saying, with some coaching pedigree to help him as a young head coach and a first-time head coach. If he is the guy, I believe he needs a good support system. You got to have a good support system, and it can't be just his buddies. No.
I think he gonna bring his buddies, man.
He gonna bring a couple.
He's gonna have some buddies that are veterans, right? Like,
Yeah.
he has relationships, but to me, you need to, like, we've seen it. And somebody correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. Have we ever seen a rookie head coach be successful with rookie coordinators? You got to bring some veterans in there.
No,
and that's what Flew fucked up at.
And in my opinion, I would love to see him have some former head coaches as his coordinators. In my personal opinion.
Well, one example is Bobby Slowick in Houston. I think, that's one example, but it's not a lot of examples because I don't even know who the DC is. I think the DC in my mind is the head coach, D'Amico Ryans. He does have a guy, I don't know his name, so excuse me on that, but his OC definitely was a first-time OC. But they grew up in the same system over there with in San Francisco. So
listen. I told you my dream, if we hire Ben Johnson as the head coach, is Ben and Lovie Smith. It's never going to happen, but I wouldn't be mad at Ron Rivera as the DC under Ben Johnson at all.
Yeah.
And that may have been, keep in mind, like some of these interviews are fact-finding. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bears in that interview with Ron Rivera said, hey, if we do hire a different head coach, what's your interest on coming back as the DC? I wouldn't be
I don't see nothing wrong with saying that.
I think that'd be good for the Bears.
That's the last time. Well, that wasn't the last time. Like before 2018, he coached the Super Bowl team, the defense, Ron Rivera. So yeah, that'd be nice. It was only for one season. We really didn't get a good taste of Ron Rivera. He was so good. He got a coaching job as soon as that year was over from the Super Bowl. So it's gonna be interesting, man. I wanted to ask you guys a question. I know this head coaches searches just took Chicago by storm, but I think is a more not a more important, but I think just as important that we get the right offensive coordinator. We cannot forget about the development of Caleb Williams, bro.
For sure.
Well, I mean, if we hire Ben Johnson as the OC, I mean, I'm not to say that it doesn't matter who we hire. I mean, as the head coach, I'm not saying it doesn't matter who we hire as the OC, but Ben Johnson's going to be the one that's in charge of Caleb's development if we hire him. Now, if it's McCarthy, yeah, you got to hire a great OC.
I would think both, though, Drip, because we seen Thomas Brown. He changed from a really good and promising OC till he got to the head coach, and it looked a little bad. Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying, Ben Johnson ain't gonna be able to give as much energy as he giving to golf right now to Caleb Williams. So we need the right hire at OC. That's got to be like, if hiring the head coach is 1A, 1B is the offensive coordinator. It has to be great for Caleb's sake, bro.
I mean, yeah, I'm not saying they could just hire anybody off the street as OC. I just think that Ben is going to be more hands-on with Caleb's development because best believe Ben's success as a head coach here is directly tied to how successful Caleb Williams is.
Oh, 100%.
And he understands that. Yeah. He understands that you have to, especially coming into this situation. But I do think that he's going to have a good OC and a good QB coach too. Like Caleb, get your footwork back in order, bro. You look sloppy out there. Caleb, take the damn, you know what I'm saying? Take the check down. Caleb, you got to hit that open receiver. That's an NFL open receiver. You got to hit it. You got to have people around him to check his ass. And I know Ben, he looked like he's going to be a guy to do that, but he going to have other things to worry about too, because he going to have to manage that clock. The head coach job ain't just calling whatever side of the ball you want to call. You got to manage that clock. That's what got Eberflus screwed over. And he fucked himself on that.
That's a fact. Nephew, do you think the next OC got a lot to fix with Caleb Williams? I don't think there is a lot to fix.
I think it's the minute stuff. It's your footwork. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna scramble out of the pocket, you ain't faster than these guys, bro. Throw that shit away. You know what I'm saying?
He's never been faster.
Yeah, but in college, you can burn more mugs in college than you can in this NFL. You ain't doing that in the NFL. Yeah, you can evade some sacks, but if you're trying to hold on to that football too long, we got to let that thing go. We got to get rid of it.
I don't want to take away the superhero. I also think I don't want to take the superhero all the way away.
You don't want to take away. You definitely don't want to do that, but you want to you want Caleb to be able to establish 7-minute drives, 8-minute drives, and so on and so forth. And that's going to come with picking a team apart all down the field. But that, it's going to be a lot of things that play into that. And sometimes when he is evading that pocket, sometimes it was just a simple step up too, depending on what that play was.
Yeah.
We probably need to get some of them offensive linemen from Miami Hurricanes. The way they quarterback be sitting back there, that shit is not natural. The way he's sitting in the pocket,
yeah, just sit back.
He
there.
look like
call up dominoes,
smoke the bag or something. He chilling, bro. You can't be that relaxed playing NFL, bro. Cam Ward is something else.
That's gonna be interesting to see because your offensive linemen no matter how good they is, unless they the Eagles O-line or hell the Commanders, you give them love for this year and they O-line.
Yeah,
you ain't got a lot of time back there on most days.
Yeah. But hopefully we talk about a better O-line. That's for damn sure, man. Because I'm tired about these O-line struggles, bro. Like can we? I just want a season where our quarterback has a respectable number of sacks, maybe like 18. Can we get that low? Can we stop being in 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, almost 70 sacks?
70 sacks is crazy, bro. But that's like our average for the last 3 years. It's nuts,
bro. It's crazy. It's really crazy how much we allow sacks. We got to get that together. The protection got to happen. And of course, as we go into our draft process, Bobby's the draft guru over here, bro. He's the only one to call Darnell Wright. Yeah, I think people got to. He was the only one calling Dar. I don't remember how you did last year in your mock, but
it wasn't that good.
It wasn't. I think my mock was terrible last year. So
I ain't gonna hold you. It was not what I expected for sure.
Yeah. But I think Ryan Poles hopefully learns from some of that because
for real,
it is what it is.
Somebody send them clips to Poles. Let them know.
Daniel's mama, bro. Jesus Christ.
Listen, ain't nobody beating Dalen Terry mama though.
I think no, Jayden, you ain't look, gang. You ain't look.
What auntie is? She finna whack you.
She over here.
She gonna beat you.
Nah, bro, she's not beating. You know what it is. I gotta realize Dubs he leans towards Latino looking women. This is what it is, bro. Like if they light skinned and look like they got a little salsa in they DNA, C Dub on
a little salsa. Oh, the real, some acapuria, some sofrito in her. He in there,
bro. I like what I like.
Listen, nobody's knocking you, bro. Do you, man? Hey, any last thoughts, fellas, before we get up out of here, man?
Can we please be at the end of the road of this coaching search? That's it. Stay tuned, guys. I think this may happen sooner than we think.
For sure. Y'all stay tuned in, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe. And we all already know this offseason, we still going to turn up and be right here ready to show out and do what we got to do. Hey, tune in, man.
Facts. Y'all make sure y'all following us at Shy Bears Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We're the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bears related. And we'll see you lovely, beautiful people tomorrow.